And it's my great joy and pleasure to welcome you again on this session. As we are run a little bit late, I'll go straight. Okay. It's only for that. All right, I'll keep that a little bit further. Do you hear me well in the back? Okay, just if you can't, show me some signals, then I can raise my voice. All right, good. The overall goal on this session is to generate some reflections from you over the challenges and measures to improve the competencies, attitudes, and knowledge in new age of practices characterized by complex labor market and quick technological developments. The descriptions in further are in website. I'll describe a bit later when we start working what we are inviting you to reflect. But in order to move with the program, I'll tell you a few words about this session's agenda. So we have two small inputs. One comes from colleagues here. They talk about the mobility of practitioners. The other one, I'll be presenting an example or our experience of jointly developed international summer school on the area of ICT in guidance and counseling. Then quickly going through, as was done in previous sessions, some overview of the country responses, and then we'll give a floor for you to reflect, and we have a table discussion time about 30 minutes. And then, based on your input, then collect some recommendations for tomorrow's plenary. Let me now just invite Ilse and Graziana. You represent yourselves a bit as well. I'll put the slides on. There you go.
So my name is Ilse Jansone. I come from Euroguidance Latvia. And
I'm Graziana Buscato. I come from Euroguidance France.
In the room, I see several colleagues and also alumni of the Academia program. And you may be puzzled, what link is there between Academia, which is a mobility initiative for career counselors, with the topic of labor market information and ICT skills. But we are happy to say that Academia develops these famous soft skills. And as the objective of this session is to promote reflection, we decided to do a creative exercise to concentrate our thinking. And we've used the alphabet as this means of reflecting on Academia, and to give you an impression that also will hopefully increase your reflection.
Okay, first, Academia benefits counselors. Academia Network was established in 1992, and it has continued to be part of all European vocational and training programs, and today in Erasmus+. Around 2,000 European guidance counselors have participated in the project since the beginning. And more than 40 lifelong guidance institutions are involved in some 20 European partners countries.
So the objective of the Academia mobility experience is to promote the dissemination and exchange of experience. This means that counselors get to learn about guidance and education systems in other countries. They get to reflect on their own system when they present this information to colleagues. But the byproduct is also friendship.
Quality of experience is guaranteed by the Academia Charter, which are basic guidelines for guidance institutions hosting the participants.
This journey across Europe is also a journey in personal learning. It's a personal mobility experience for counselors so that they can better advise their clients on what it means to be mobile in Europe. This mobility journey develops various key skills, And the program of the academia visits are also geared toward developing learning outcomes for the participants.
And mobility experience means learning in multicultural environment, widen professional networks and cooperation opportunities, building professional networks, formal and informal. Mobility experience means openness to new practices and then spread the learning experience among peers and end users.
The development of the network, its experience, and also the quality charter means that mobility experiences within the academia network are quality experiences. Counselors have the opportunity to realize their personal strengths and the strengths of the systems they represent. Oh, it's louder? Okay, I'll try. So, the experience of the academia network, along with the quality charter, means that the mobility experiences that counselors receive are quality experiences. These experiences help counselors to realize their personal strengths, to realize the strengths of their guidance practices, the strengths of their guidance systems, but also to reflect and to identify on those areas where they can improve, both personally and as practitioners, and also to see the cracks in their own system.
And the themes developed in academia are various. They are based on European and national policy topics related to guidance, education and work. Counselors are encouraged to demonstrate and share best practices and tools from their own work.
A survey about the activities of the academia network has identified this as a unique network because it is a network of counselors for counselors. It's a valuable experience because it brings together groups of counselors from several countries, and it also brings together counselors from different sectors, which makes it a special experience. You get to see different levels of guidance that you may not usually see in your everyday line of work. A big question right now is, will the network continue as a mobility-focused network? The current European program structure makes this very difficult. Also because, for example, the current Erasmus Plus program decision doesn't refer to counselors as an explicit target audience. If we want to focus on counselors and to promote their mobility so that they can promote it further among their clients, it's important to make these references in the program documents. And if we want to make this happen, as William also mentioned this morning, it's up to you, up to us, up to each one of us to make our interests heard. If you represent a national counselors organization, if you are interested in promoting this form of exchange among guidance counselors, you can make this visible to the Commission. Please do so. And what do we have left? The end. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. And then the other small input, it is my pleasure to describe a little bit about jointly development on international intensive course. It's nice to see in this room some people who have actually participated in the in the International Summer School, also people who have been on designing it with the Nordic team, and also some other colleagues who have supported the development of this course. Just a little bit background about the group of people or the network that is behind on this development. There's a VALA network, which is a Nordic network of 14 career counseling and guidance programs. And it consists of the education and training centers and also career counselor associations. Yeah, no problem, welcome. And we are nearly covering all Nordic and Baltic countries. And this network was founded in 2012, and it's funded by Nordplus funding. So there's a Nordic Council of Ministries that through their lifelong learning program. The VALA network as such, why we got together and what are the aims and the goals. One reason was that the institutes and representatives wanted to increase the professionalization, strengthen the cooperation between higher education institutions and also the labor market, between research, practice and policy. And the driving force was and still is to be able to better prepare career counselors and guidance workers for diverse clients by coming together, recognizing what are our strengths that we hold, but as said here, as true that we have had some possibilities to visit our institutes, also to recognize where are the weak points of our own countries. And then specifically, in the beginning, the focus was on education of those that work with adults. Well, what the networks then has done on these few years. At the beginning, there was a small development program where we compared our curricular study programs and looked over the Nordic Baltic countries, recognized some strengths and then weaknesses, and then also had a plan for some practical training. We've utilized teacher mobility funding, visited, learned, also teach in each of our different institutes, student mobility, and then what I described next detail is about the joint develop of the intensive courses. The one that we've actualized is this one, the use of ICT in guidance and counseling. Rationale. When we came together and compared the curriculums of our training programs, we recognized that the role of use of ICT in guidance and counseling was dealt very differently within our training programs. And the fact was most programs do or did not teach the use of ICT in guidance and counseling. They only included a small lecture, or it was even lacking. So we recognized that by doing this kind of course together, it would supplement the curricula of the participating institutes. The development began with the volunteers of some of the institute representatives. Finnish Institute of Education Research, where we did some research on this area. Then we had Malmö University, where we had a teacher who was very experienced on delivering such a course and also practice it as a practitioner. Then University of Iceland. Iceland was still a newcomer on thinking about the role of ICT, so it was important to also include them and have their voices, what are the needs. And then we had e-Vägledning, who in Nordic countries was one that was most advanced on doing the online guidance and counseling. Besides that, when we developed the course, we had expertise as a teachers in the course, Raimo Vuorinen, and then also Professor James Sampson. As I also meant, the European colleagues, for example, Rachel here, has supported when we needed some, and we're looking for some good assignments or ways to increase the reflection. So also the other European colleagues who we utilize our network. The development of the training from the beginning was informed and connected the research on perceived competency on ICT in guidance and counseling. Meaning that, as I said, we've conducted the recent research on this area and recognized that it would give a good, strong theoretical frame for us to build and develop the training program and start thinking what would be the actual hands-on practices that we can use and where we had some strengths that we recognized earlier. We also recognized that we have to develop some new things, and we had the chance to test this during this course. The course had three, as we decided, it had 3 elements. There was an orientation task before the students come actually to the same place, intensive course week. There are some readings and some videos what we invite them to do. The course is 5 ECT course, and each of those students who come in, if they're students in Nordic Baltic programs, are discussing before they come so that this 5 ECT can be included in their normal training, accepted in their training programs. When they come in, then we have a 5-day intensive course in these first years it's been in Jyväskylä. Our aim is now also rotated in different Nordic countries so that students have better possibilities to come and join. And then they have some post-core assignments. The theoretical frame, what my recent research revealed was that this is kind of like the variation where what we have in when we look how do career practitioners conceive the competency for using a technology. There is a group who see their approaches very passive, and then that is hard for us to reach them. But then we have the information approach where our training focus on supporting the operational understanding of technology and using it for information. Then we move on with the exercise to think about what is the communication approach. We use technology more on career service delivery. We have exercises that have hands-on on synchronous and asynchronous tools. And then practical skills, we focus on practical skills and using technology, and also move towards on using social media. This is also something what we had experienced, but then a more challenge we had when we started to think about how do we support the training and build the training models of doing the collaborative career exploration, where pedagogical affordance of technology comes into account. So how to do exercises where we have practitioners collaborating in online settings and get the experience of being a participant and also the one who gives the guidance. And then on fourth, this co-careering approach where co-constructing career issues requires from us a new kind of presence in online. What we focus over the week, as we designed it, in the first week we focus on giving a theoretical frame. Then we move. There's this we do a hands-on exercises on online skills. So talking about focusing on strengthening the knowledge about media literature, information literature, talking about some of the ethical issues, accuracy and validity. That is a lot of still quite traditional discussion and lectures. In each day, all of our Nordic teachers have shared responsibilities. So each of us has clear slots of what we did. So teachers are from all of those teachers who have been designing are also teaching, and then we have some international other persons. On first day it was the theoretical frame. Second day focusing on using it for delivering information and focusing on information and media literature. And third day we move from what does it require for us as we do our practice today more and more on written formats. So we have asked them to, they have a lot of hands-on, they test, we have good exercises that have Yvette Learning has delivered. Actually, they do chatting and get the good reflections on that. On Thursday, we move on focusing what is it when we do our profession and practice and skills that are needed in online discourse, and then on last day on what is it when we talk about co-careering and online presence. The importance in developing this has been that all countries have been willing to bring their own knowledge, their own share. Sometimes it also required that we put in some own money. But we've used the mobilization funding for get the students actually for 1 week at the same place. Nordic Baltic programs have supported, they market the course. They are willing to also to take further. There's going to be an online version of the course to start implementing this on their own institutes. As said, hands-on, face-to-face, still is an important part of this course. It's not totally online. We want to see them, we want to strengthen their feeling and collaboration. We also know how challenging it is for us to find, as professionals, find time to read and focus and get. So they get a lot of reading time where we ask them to read also some materials. They share their own practices. We ask them to bring what is the good practice that you've acknowledged as a very good in your own country, and they bring and they share. So it's not only for us to giving, but we gain. It's a collaborative process where we invite them to learn, share, and reflect this so that we can strengthen and develop the course as we go on. And of course, part of it is the social program, important part of it. What I would say, and we have Elizabeth from here, we've managed to put, we have had this course twice, to have a 60 new, quite excited persons leaving from Jyväskylä after these courses. One strength of the course is also that it's organized by the Open University of Jyväskylä, which means we don't only have the students. We have also, it's open for professionals, it's open for other trainers. So the sharing of future practitioners, decision makers and most had made those courses very, very valuable. And if you see people in groups just saying, ICT, they've been in a course. So that was my short input on that, and I thank also my colleague Elizabeth from being a part of this course deliverable. Elizabeth is here if you want questions. And we have Linda here who has actually been in a course, who if you want to hear more, and Rachel for sharing all of your reflection exercise, which is important part that we give students enough time for that too. Yes, please hold the microphone. All right. Well, then I'll step in the other shoes. Thank you for listening me on that. So new entrance as the chair of this session. Few words about what did the country papers show on this theme, shortly before we move on working with group. So what we found from the papers was that there was if we look on the recent developments, there was clear evidence of active initial and continuing training, and especially on these areas were mentioned. And as earlier it was mentioned, Euroguidance has been active on doing this on their own, but also in own countries these were mentioned. So mobility among career practitioners, study visits, and professional development workshops have been organized, webinars, and more thematic conferences around this area. There's also examples of cooperation, more cooperation on developments of international training programs. The previous was one. We have a new innovative ways of delivering the courses, employee ID, the projects from also the MOOCs, and which have brought new ways of learning, new ways of promoting the development of the competency, and also the collaborative reflection among practitioners. There's also mention about new kind of partnerships that bring the education system closer to its economical environment. Closer partnerships with the world of work, and that, on the other hand, has been recognized as a possibility that it provides us opportunities to engage the enterprises in the design and implementation of the training programs better. The remain challenges. What was mentioned was that there is still, and what we could see, that there's clear variance in the range of depth of career practitioners and career guidance practice and training. So it still remains that we have a more systematic cooperation between different sectors, meaning that if we only have trained people so that they can work in one sector and not on the other, so then that is maybe something that we should look more closely, that it is flexible. Or the competencies that we build support that individuals can work in different kind of settings in career sector. There is the diversity of the clients. There are multicultural, international aspects were raised, and also that the clients have highly individual demands on these days, and that brings a new kind of challenges for us. There is a call that there should be better links between initial and continuous training. That should be improved, should be reviewed in order to also give some kind of a fresher view. What is it when we do in training? Also reflecting on the previous ones, that there are closer relationship with the work life, that how do we take into account, also bringing what they know in our programs. And then the options for the future. Enhancement of research space and jointly develop online training courses for career practitioners in modularized and multi-language formats were highlighted. There has been efforts to create common training, so we have some that exist, but there is still a call for more structured cooperation and coordination on that in national, but also in international level. And as previously, once again, there's options for us to better involve the employers and other stakeholders to participate on designing the delivery of career practitioner training programs. And then there are options that we see also for further developments on existing online tools. What we have seen good examples here in the exhibition also, and in EU level also the training on the use of ICT on handling the complex LMI. Now I invite you to start reflecting. So what do you consider to be the very first steps in your country right now to progress the theme of this workshop, so competency of practitioners? And the other one then focus more on EU level. How can EU level actions, mechanisms and actors provide complementary and coherent European cooperation on these policy initiatives to support the national process on these themes. And I see some computers, which is promising. I invite you in a table to, of course, get to know each other, and then make a decision that who would then be the one that could record your thoughts in our online environment. That is important for us so that we can, whatever we get and what you discuss, we have a record of that, and we can take those into account as we work further for the tomorrow's policy implication and the papers. So the address for where you all have a working space is right there, so tinyurl.com and then EGW 2017 competence. And the tables, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And time starts now. You have a half an hour.
Should we go then? Yes, yes, we will
We have promotion, sharing of good practices, conferences, and training. For the EU level, and for the first step, we have training and modules. Identification of training need and integration of things. Conjugation of
ethical art, walking individual art, so maybe some clients would prefer to be on Facebook. Young generation, they can do it in the Facebook chat, they can do much more to
if you start wrapping up now. Yeah, we need any birds? It's always hard for educator to stop the wonderful conversation that takes place, but I know that you are also eager to get yourself ready to prepare for the evening. So as we read through of these, and we will do so further, so please use the possibility if you want to still continue or write later. The documents will be available for you after this, and if you want to add something. All right, thank you. If you want to add something, then the documents are available for you, and you can have a later also a further look of all of these sessions inputs. So as we were looking through, what few points what I'd like to raise, that there is clearly what was emphasized was that first, of course, we need to ensure that the ICT is included in the training curriculums. Also, there was highlighting in a couple of the groups that it's important that we support the professionals expand on their awareness and also widen their paradigms, which is taking place now. So that there would be a shift that we as a profession accept that the change that this information society is bringing for us as a professionals, but as a sector as a whole. In relation to so that ensure that ICT will be included in curriculum, was a couple of the groups mentioned also the continuing development of we know that ICT develops fast, so development of the program and also development of the theoretical framework, so that we would have a consistent framework that we lean and build the training on. Call for also for better possibilities for mobility, experience sharing, making it easier for us to learn from each other, share from each other, and visit actually to each other. So better possibilities of that. Raimo, would you look the EU level?
Thank you. Some of the comments that are focusing on EU level are strengthening and let's say indicating the same issues that were within the country responses. The first one is first step. Is the language skills, remove barriers. So we need to have a common language which we are using. But then, and here's in brackets whether it's English, but I don't take a stand which language. But in a way, we would say a common language that is we're gonna understand in different sectors. Yeah, Finnish is one option. But then the other one is the developing the EU. I take the table 2. It's a sharing of good practices. So how to have a mechanism that support the practices in a simple and effective way. And within the country responses, there were these online training modules or MOOCs, which have been jointly developed. And I think this joint development is quite crucial, that if we want to have the training that meets the local contexts, so the more countries we can have, let's say, connected and engage in building the training modules, it's better to apply, because what we've learned that one model cannot fit to all national contexts, because we have different curriculum traditions and different mechanisms, and those are the reasons which relate to this as well. And then the benchmarking possibilities, which came also from the cooperation working group number 1. We highlighted that we should examine the options for structured bench learning as well, or benchmarking, with jointly agreed common reference points. I think these were the items I picked up from the European level.
Would any of you like to, or some of the tables, would you like to raise some other issues that you discussed right now?
I think there's nothing more from this table that would answer what's already been said.
All right, someone? All right. One moment, I'll bring you the microphone so that the audience can hear.
Yeah, we said that both examples, academia and the training model that was developed by the Nordic countries, are good examples of collaboration and joint efforts of different players in different countries. And we said it would be good to encourage people to, through funds, let's say, provided by Erasmus+, to come up with bottom-up approaches of jointly developing trainings. Of course, you cannot expect to develop a training and that will be it, because especially in the field of ICT, it will have to be maintained and constantly like further developed, of course, yeah. But with Erasmus+ funds, you could make a start and do something tailor-made.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Someone else? Something else from some other table that you like? All right. If not, then the organization group will get together and work for hours and look into your great inputs. I thank you warmly for your inputs and great contribution for this. And well, now you are free to go. Thank you very much.